Johnson, we are back with another episode of Real Estate Uncensored. Thank you so much for joining us. This is the place where you get actionable ideas, insight, and inspiration to turn your real estate career into a life of freedom. We have a special guest here. Andy Green is with us. We're going to be talking about how he's built out his team, the lead generation systems and methods that are working for him right now. We're going to talk about marketing, how he manages the team. We're going to talk about all kinds of stuff. So this is going to be a seriously content-packed and fun episode, as always. But I'm joined in the co-pilot seat by the junior grandmaster himself, Greg McDaniel. Greg, what is up today?
What's up? God, it's good to be seen. I mean, good to see you. My fault. My ego kicked in. But we are gonna have such a fucking awesome show today, and we are just gonna do epic shit, as I believe one of our past guests has referred to his show title. When I typed in, like, hey, what do you want to talk about today?
Jeff Latham. Yeah, it's like, I want to talk about doing epic shit.
I'm like, what do you talk about? He's like, epic shit. I'm like, no, seriously, what do you want to talk about? Doing epic shit. I'm like, all right, well, there we go. But I want to poke fun at myself here for a second, because as you guys know, I do not take myself all that seriously that much. So we're talking off air, and Andy and Matt and I are talking. I'm getting to know Andy's areas, and Matt had told me that Andy, is up in the Oregon neighborhoods, and yes, I am going to tell this story. And I'm looking at these 3 different marketplaces, and in all dead seriousness, because you guys do know I'm dyslexic, I'm like, so Andy, where's Maryland? And he's like, you mean Maryland, Greg? And I'm like, son of a bitch, dyslexia sucks balls sometimes. God, and Matt goes, don't you mean like Maryland, Greg? The other part of the country? I'm like, yeah, that's what I meant. And I just thought it was a really happy place. I thought it was like Disneyland's reject, redheaded stepchild, brother or something.
Maryland, where the redheaded stepchildren of cartoon characters go to die. Okay.
Oh, so the epic dyslexic monster strikes again today.
That's right. All right. Well, thank you to everyone for putting up on a continual basis with Greg's dyslexia, as I do. And while we wait for people to join us live, which we thank you for doing, we appreciate those that join us and watch the show live. But if you're watching the replay here on YouTube, make sure to hit subscribe. That way you get our future videos and other real estate sales and training content. But also head on over to iTunes or Stitcher and subscribe to the audio version. Which where should that be, Greg? Where should that be nestled?
Nestled so deep in your ears, man.
Right
So deep,
ears.
nestled.
Yeah.
Nestled.
Okay.
Yes, so good.
I don't know. That has to stop. I don't think that should become a regular part of the show.
Oh, that's never gonna stop, Matt. It's always gonna stay.
I know. One person complimented you on it, and now you won't stop. So.
Nope, I won't. Nope.
All right, so let's bring in our special guest, and then we'll jump into a question, and then move on with the show. So, Andy Green. Andy, what is up today?
How you doing, brother?
Very
good.
Well.
Doing good.
So give everyone that doesn't know who you are kind of the 60-second bio on who you are, where you are, and what you do.
Okay. So I own a real estate team here in Wilsonville, Oregon. It's a suburb of Portland, population 20,000. Started my career back in '99 in new home sales for about 6.5 years, but grew up in the business. My family's been building and developing in a couple different states for the past 30 years. So always knew from a young age exactly what I was going to be doing, and it hasn't always been easy. Had some ups and downs in the business. I felt like I've always grown more during the down times, and it's just made me stronger and smarter. But we did 144 transactions last year in Wilsonville and in the Portland metro market. Over the past 12 months, I've 7th leveled my team. So if you're familiar with the Millionaire Real Estate Agent, I've moved out of production, have a team leader that's leading that business. We're on track to and have a goal of selling 200 homes this year. So with me being out of production, increasing the business from 144 to 200, things are looking really good. We've got a great team and excited to be in this business at this point in history. Loving it.
Yeah. So are you going to author the book How Gangsters Do Real Estate just because you're just pimping this thing out? I mean, just rolling like a playa? Is that going to be one of your next books?
Yeah, I'm the next Tupac.
Oh, thank God you didn't say Biggie.
Wow. That is the second reference to Tupac just today.
I know.
Right? Just between the people we've spoken with in the last couple hours, yeah.
That was not planned.
No. You know what? Just because of that, I'm going to have to blast Tupac in my office and piss off the rest of my agents and my team. That's it. It's going to happen.
All right. Anyway, well, this is awesome. We've got a lot of stuff that we can cover, Andy, before we get into all that. So there's a lot of things we want to get into, but just the fact that you've exited production, we'll talk about some of the keys to getting your agents productive and managing them, and how you've shifted away from having them being exclusive buyers agents and listing partners, which is kind of the traditional KW model that's out there a lot. We're going to talk about why you went away from that, which is super, super interesting stuff. So in the meantime, there was a question that that caught my eye that I think that you can both you and Greg can speak to, because it's about an ISA. So as a person that's looking for an accountability partner, they want to report calls dialed, contacts made, appointments set every day, and they're looking for somebody to kind of hold them accountable to some standards.
What's his name?
Ashley Crouch.
Oh, I had a call about this literally last night, and I encouraged an individual to go onto these things to ask exactly that. I'm like, you gotta be shitting me.
No. Well, somebody else took your advice that you didn't even give advice to. So yeah. So Andy, let's start with you. So you've got, I think, a couple of ISAs on your team, if I understand it correctly.
Yeah, so I should also say that I'm part of the Five Doors Network. We're an expansion company that has locations all over the U.S. So when I rolled into the Five Doors Network, we actually rolled in my ISAs. So we've got 4 ISAs right now, and they're making calls all around the nation. So
okay, so your 2 ISAs joined the other 2, basically formed like a call center that makes calls for everybody that's in the network.
Yep, pretty much. The ISA that I hired, he's very talented. His name's Ben Pickthorn. He is going to be an icon in this business when he decides to hang up his boots, and he's actually leading that division and growing it. So yeah, we have a great ISA division.
Cool. So fill us in a little bit on, do you guys have some standards, some things that you expect out of the ISAs, and what do you guys focus on when you're managing an ISA team?
So that's a really great question, and I hear a lot of the time, people that are focusing on ISAs, they focus on 21040, and what we found through a lot of experience over the last 2 years is that it's really hard to find those ISAs that can hit 40 appointments consistently and still have quality appointments. We found that you can have ISAs that come into the business and maybe over the first 6 months get to a point where they're scheduling 40. In reality, the quality can be very low, and it's also dependent on how wide your net is and how many leads you're generating. Are they inbound sales agents? Are they outbound? And the ratios will vary depending on exactly what sort of lead gen they're doing. But Ben, he's consistently hitting over 40 per month. We have great inbound lead generation that generates a lot of calls, a lot of high quality internet leads, as well as like the Boomtown leads, which conversion ratios might be a little bit lower. So to get an ISA up to 40 points, it can be done. You just have to go and find the top of the line talent in the area and give them the tools necessary in order to really hit those types of numbers. So so that's kind of
where'd you guys find Ben, by the way? Yeah. Where'd he come from? What's his background?
So Ben is a past client of mine. I was in a church group with his wife, and I used to make fun of her all the time because I thought she had made up a husband because I never met him. I'm not kidding. We were in this group together for a year. I never saw him. He was in the restaurant business, and he was a GM of a restaurant, and he worked crazy flipping hours, and he never saw his kids. And it's like he didn't have a life. And so so he was at a point in his career where he had helped open a restaurant. He was like the man at the restaurant. It went under after a year, the rest of my life. And in comes a conversation between he and I, started talking about real estate, and had coffee with him. The very next morning, he emailed me and said, I have no expectations that we're going to be in business together, although I would love to be. I'm getting my real estate license. I've signed up, and I'm going to be licensed here shortly. So we started the conversations, and I built a big vision for an ISA department with him from day one. So I didn't build that vision like start out as an ISA and then move into sales, and that's a trajectory. It's like, let's build this ISA thing to a big level, and you're the man. So let's figure it out together, and that's what we've done.
That's amazing. You know, it makes a big difference where you get your ISAs from. Like, I have a guy just like you. I have Chuck. He's a fan of the show. Turned into a good friend, and you know, he's a natural born, you know, schmoozer. I mean, he just has the silver tongue, and it sounds like your guy has that kind of ability. And you brought something into my mind, and I feel like a dipshit for not, you know, thinking about this ahead of time. We have thousands of online leads. We get daily updates on all these different people that want information, and I'm sitting there trying to answer them myself. I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? This should be going over to Chuck to respond live time, because he's crushing it with our inbound callbacks that we get from a couple of systems we use. Dude, he's just setting meetings for us just like that. It's awesome. It's a little scary, but it's good.
So the thing with Ben is he really has a heart for helping people, and I mean, in the conversations that he has, he does have that silver tongue, and he is just so flipping good. And at the same time, he wants to help people. He genuinely wants to help people, and they feel it. It comes across the phone, and he schedules a lot of appointments and generates a lot of business for our company.
Yeah, and the genuineness is really where it's at, because when you're authentic and you're transparent and you're not trying to pull the wool over someone's eyes, people will smell it on you a mile away that you're trying to actually bring value to their lives. Then they're going to open up. They're going to be trustful, you know, trusting of you to you know, give some personal information to. Which a lot of the times in this business, dude, we suck balls at that. All we're trying to do is like, well, I refer to it as commission breath. People come to it like, hi, I really need a commission. And dude, like, you haven't brushed your teeth in like a month, bro. You got something sticking out right here too. You know, it's not a pleasant thing. So you can't really make those people. They have to be already, that has to be inside of them, and then you draw that out of them, right? You should give them the tools to be effective with that, right?
Yep, absolutely. You have to have a talent radar, and it has to always be up, and you're looking for those people.
Yeah, that's not an easy thing to do, to have the radar up and to have the systems in place that are constantly attracting those people to you. But it reminds me of something. I was actually just reading it this morning. I posted on Facebook not long before we went on the show, but there's a book called True Professionalism by David Maister. He was talking about what it takes to be a leader, and he mentioned that people will not follow you unless you have like 4 key ingredients, and the first one was motives, and then it was values, then it was competence. So before you even get to whether you're a competent professional in terms of leading other people or persuading them to follow you and do anything, it comes down to your motives. People want to understand, and they want to get an intuitive sense of what your motives are. And you know, when you're talking about ISAs that actually genuinely care about people and want to help them, like, that comes through in your tonality and your phrasing and the way that you push them to do certain things and the way that you set the appointments. I mean, people pick up on that intuitively.
Yeah, they really do.
One of the things that I've found in attracting talent is it all starts with a big vision. And I should say a big vision and proof of success, and that's what worked for me. He saw the trajectory of our company and how much we were growing. We were doubling our business every single year, and you know, had the vision to continue to grow it. And he saw himself, you know, as a piece of that puzzle, living inside of it, and was really excited. So it all starts with a really big vision, and you know, putting the proof in front of people that we're not just talking the talk, we're making the shit happen.
Yeah, it's totally true. The sad thing is, when I hired Chuck, you know, we talked about stuff before, and I'm like, all these things, you're not gonna have to worry about. I'll handle this, blah blah blah. He thought we were all fluff, and then it started actually happening and playing out the way that, you know, I said. He's like, I can't believe you're actually, you know, you actually do what you say you're gonna do. I'm like, well, yeah, that's the point, isn't it? I mean, that's kind of the reason that I'm looking to get you. So, dude, that's awesome that other people like you are out there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very, very cool. All right, so then I want to dive into the lead gen systems that are generating those inbound leads for your ISAs to call. We'll get to that in a second. So first, let's mention a couple of people to thank, and then Greg, you've got some shout outs, I'm sure.
I do.
All right, so real quick, just want to thank Viral Marketing for helping to make podcasts and hangouts like these happen. They are phenomenal. They help run Greg's East Bay Real Estate Video Blog. Andy is also a client. Just want to publicly thank them. And if you want to find out more about what they do for Greg specifically, go to gregsmarketingexamples.com. You can actually see the YouTube channel, the blog that they built, the emails they send out to his list, which then you get a report back of who actually watched the videos so that Greg and his staff can follow up with them, and gives them a good sense of who out of their database of 6,000 people in their area are actually thinking about making a move and doing something soon. So just want to thank them. And then Homing In. So if you guys haven't checked this out, you've probably seen Todd Miller has been on the show before. So they've come up with a really phenomenal app to help homeowners request real home valuations from actual agents. So this is going to go head-to-head and compete with Zillow's Zestimate, and we have a chance as an industry to kind of keep a third player out from generating seller leads and then selling them back to us like Zillow did with buyer leads. So let's jump on this and make sure that we make this platform blow up. And that way we have a way for us to directly reach out and generate real seller leads from homeowners that actually want real valuations of their homes before they put their home on the market. So go check out Homing In. They're working on the web version right now, but the iPhone and the Android app version is available right now, so you can already download it. They're getting requests for home valuations from all over the world. Christian showed me one the other day from England. They've got ones coming in from like New South Wales and Australia. I mean, just all over the place. People are finding the app organically, and they're requesting home valuations, and there's not agents to fulfill them. So go check that out.
So get off your ass and go make money, fuckers.
That's right.
I actually have a call, Matt. I have a call with Sarah. She was the gal who uses Instagram incredibly effectively. I have a call with her this afternoon for Calgary, Canada. And kind of launching some stuff up there. So guys, it is blowing up. I have it on my phone. They're gonna start launching some stuff down here for me to really give it a run. I can't wait. It's gonna be awesome. Awesome. Anyways,
huge potential. All right. So shout outs for you, Greg.
Yes, Matt. Shout outs for me. Okay, I have had a lot of fun this last couple of days, guys. Albert, he's been watching our shows on YouTube, Matt. He loves our show, very inspirational and inspiring. He also loves Brian, Joshua Smith, so Brian Kinsella, Joshua Smith, and Colton Lindsay. He's learning from all these guys, so we're blessed to be among them. YouTube, Kill Me Softly. I don't know your name, but Kill Me Softly, thank you. Is watching a ton of our shows and loves them. Again, very instrumental and inspirational, so thank you for doing that. Bonnie, an amazingly wonderful young lady, had an opportunity to talk with her on the McDaniel Challenge a couple nights ago, and then she just hit me up this morning. She has her first buyer meeting this weekend, so I'm very pumped for her. Bianca, hey, dude, boom, knuckles to you, kiddo. Fuck am I calling you, kiddo? Playa. That's how it is. She just closed her biggest deal to date. So she happened today. So congratulations. We're all popping champagne for you. Rhonda, you hit me up this morning on Facebook again off of my video, and you're working on your wig. Awesome. Keep me up. Let me know how that goes for you. And that sounds for a wildly important goal, by the way. And then Sean, dude, he's watching our stuff. He's a lender here in the area. Hit me up. So big knuckles to you, buddy. Bam. I don't know if we're gonna be able to shoot live on Sunday, bro. I don't know if I can get the Wi-Fi working at the house, but we'll get working. We're gonna do a dual Facebook Live, so it's gonna be really cool. Sandy and Larry from Hawaii, I love you guys. You are so amazing. You paid me the biggest compliment today and said that I have the magic quotes, and that I have the ability to keep people very entertained, and they like to watch me, and they're learning a ton, and they have the aha moment that they need to be the star of Hawaii. They need to be the go-to human for Hawaii. So guys, I cannot wait to talk to you later on today. It's going to be an incredible experience, so just love you guys. I'm done.
Good Lord. All right, the McDaniel Challenge, quickly.
And that was fast, man.
That was fast. That was
like in a couple of times. If you were listening to Audible, McDaniel Challenge is when you're going to get about an hour and a half to 2 hours of hanging with me. Yes, yours truly. I am fun, entertaining, and somewhat knowledgeable. Matt might debate that, but I'll fight him to the death on that.
Just the third part.
Yeah. Guys, McDaniel Challenge. Guys, I'm not fucking with you. I am booking right now. My next available time for the McDaniel Challenge is July 14th, Matt. July 14th. So guys, get off your ass. Get an hour and a half to 2 hours with me. It's a lot of fun. We kick back, we hang out, we have a cocktail, and we just rap together. You know what? Come with some questions or not. You know what? I'll help you guys get. I'm going to quote the great JJ. I'm going to help you unfuck yourself. You're going to have ideas, thoughts, theories, concerns, anything that's on the fence. If you're on the fence, you're the perfect person to call me. That's exactly the position you're in that you need to be in to get on it. So guys, call me on my cell phone. Wait, hold on, Matt. Oh, it does work. Number is 925-915-1978. Again, 925-915-1978. Guys, I would really love to spend a night talking with you. Hashtag do not let Greg spend a night alone. John's right.
Yes, there was a funny occurrence the other day. So I was meeting with Christian Peter, who's been on the show before, and he was joking around about the podcast and how he's liked to see just how the show has grown and stuff like that. He mentioned the hashtag "Don't let Greg sleep alone." I'm like, no, that's a completely different. That's a different program. Don't let.
No, that's Tinder. No, that's not a podcast.
Yeah, exactly. That's something else. All right. So back to you, Andy. So let's get into it. So you mentioned that you've got this ISA team that's kind of returning these inbound leads. You've got a lot of lead generation systems that are bringing in higher quality leads. So let's dig into that a little bit. I'm curious, kind of what's working for your team right now, and is there anything that other people can take away and implement, or maybe a service or a certain kind of approach that they can start taking to generating inbound leads?
Sure. So I guess the question would be, are you looking for a short-term fix or a long-term fix? But what I can tell you is I can just tell you what I did. I had the pleasure of restarting my business in 2011. When the market crashed, back in the day, I kind of put that into the back of my memory banks. I wasn't smart enough or strong enough to survive that market. So I ended up rejoining my family's development company, and did that for a handful of years, and then they lost funding for the big project that I was working on. So literally restarted my business in 2011. What I did is I went online and I said, okay, how are people generating leads right now, and what can I do to make money? Because I had 3 kids at home. My wife does not work and hasn't worked since we had kids, and I had to make money and had none. So I found Lori Ballin online. I don't know if you've heard of Lori Ballin. She does a lot of online lead gen, and took some really good stuff away from her videos. I created 2 niche websites, one of them in a neighborhood that I wanted to dominate very quickly. And that website alone generated 19 sales for us last year, with an average sales price of around $400,000. And we don't generate a ton of leads with that website. The leads that we do generate are very high quality leads, and it's just creating that one niche site will literally make me millions of dollars over the years. It's a great neighborhood that will always sell. Created a Facebook page, started doing videos in our community, and really becoming the real estate agent of choice in this area. My wife, as an example, she went in to grab a prescription for us one day and saw the name on the prescription, and the pharmacist said, "Is this Andy Green, the real estate agent?" And I'd never met her before. So it's like those type of testimonials are what I was looking for, and just being everywhere that I could possibly be online. But that's where it started, with niche websites, video marketing, and the business has just grown. Each year from there. I ended up implementing viral marketing about 2 years into the business, and we sold about 65 homes from our sphere of influence last year by implementing the two videos per week in combination. So it's not just the videos; it's a combination of like everything that we do. We're very active in our local community. We sponsor just about everything that you can think of, from Little League baseball, football team, lacrosse, dance team, participate in fun runs in the community. So it started out with me being very visible in the community, and now it's grown to like all of our team members doing those same things, participating, giving back, coaching youth sports, and just keeping our motto alive, which is creating community. So that's where it started, and it also started with creating a strong brand. You see green everywhere in our local communities, and people pay attention to our listings when they come on the market. And found one trick from an agent a couple years ago. She put a sold fast sign on the top of her signs when her property sold quickly. And I mean, now we get calls, people just saying, I want a sold fast sign, and I need to sell, so come over and list my house.
That's awesome.
So that one little trick, if you guys like take anything away from this podcast today, it's like do that one thing, and go sell homes quickly. So
that's awesome. You know what? I'm going to go get one of those. But in all actuality, if you sell it, fast, it could be faster than the average home sold in the area. It could be sold, whatever. I mean, shit, it could be sold fast no matter what, right? It doesn't really
we just do faster than the market average. So if the market average is 40 days on the market, we sell it under that, then we put a sold fast sign on.
39 and a half days, you're like, sweet, better than the average. All right.
Sold fast. Sold fast.
We beat it by 2.5 hours, yeah.
That was a squeaker, but we got it.
Oh, no, I like it, though. That's a great tip. So do you guys put that sign out there as soon as it goes under contract? Do you wait a little bit?
Yep. And fortunately, I guess fortunately and unfortunately, all of our listings are selling fast right now. There's a shortage of inventory in the market, just like most people around. Although we are seeing things start to shift in our market. That's really why we're a listing-based business. We focus and have conversations around seller listings on a regular basis, and work hard to gain market share in that category. So.
Well, listings and buyers are both good. I mean, both get paid on it. But you found that your niche is listings, right?
Yeah, I mean that is absolutely what we focus on. Buyers right now, we're writing a ton of offers. There are multiple offers, and we feel like we put our buyers in the best position to win in that multiple offer situation. And at the same time, sometimes they just don't have the capability to put themselves in that position. So the agents are spending a lot of time with buyers, and that's the problem. And the solution is become a listing agent, right?
Yeah, I mean, with all the listings that you have, I'm gonna make the rational assumption. I could be 100% wrong, which Matt would say I am, but I'm gonna say that you probably present like, hey, work with me as a listing agent. We have buyers. I might be able to have a buyer buy your home even before it goes on the market. You don't have to deal with living in a fishbowl. And on the flip side, hey, work with me as a seller or buyer, and you tell them you have the other side, right? Potentially already there. Do you work that at all, or do you always take your homes out the market? Okay, good. I thought so.
No, we have those conversations. In fact, I was talking to one of my agents this morning that listed a property last week, and he has the buyer, in his pocket. So it's going to be under contract in the next 24 hours, and we're seeing that a lot today. So absolutely, that's a value proposition for us in this community.
Yeah, that's huge. I mean, that's a value prop in almost any community, and that's just awesome. You guys are able to leverage that.
Yeah, very, very cool. All right, so then, so basically, then you've got these a lot of different sources that are generating the activity. You've got your niche websites, you've got database marketing, all these things you're driving to. What's your central website that people they're driving to, and what's your registration system look like that's generating the leads?
Well, I have a lot of websites, so we use Boomtown. That one is what is it? Portland.5doorsrealestate.com. Generate a lot of business through that. My niche website is Villebois.com. That's the name of the neighborhood. So it's Villebois.com. That was one I was talking about a few minutes ago. Our company website is greengrouprealestate.com, and definitely generate a good amount of business from that here in the community. So those are probably the three main websites. And as far as the lead capture, Boomtown does a great job with their lead capture. And then we use IDX Broker on the other two websites, the Green Group website and my niche websites.
Cool. Yeah, and that's all right. So that's pretty standard. Nothing too out of the box or anything. But the niche website essentially is generating better inquiries because I'm assuming it's more of a content marketing website that's aimed at that neighborhood and neighborhood events and things like that. Am I understanding that right?
Yep, that's correct. And the why that works so well in this specific neighborhood is it's one of the top neighborhoods in Portland. It's growing very quickly. It'll have 7,000 residents when it's complete, and it's probably about 70% built out at this point. So there's a lot of new construction, and we're able to attract a lot of people to that website. We're organically #1 because we own the name Villebois.com. So people that are looking for that neighborhood, they automatically go there, and we're the logical choice to help them find, identify, and purchase a home in that area. So so it's not like a typical buyer situation where you're getting a buyer lead, you're figuring out what cities they're looking at, you're driving them all over town. This neighborhood's 1 mile away from my office, so we get that lead, we do a consultation with them, we take them to the neighborhood, we show them their options, and they buy a house like that day. So it's maybe 1 day of showing property and going to a couple of model homes, and that's it. So
that's crazy.
So our business is a little bit buyer heavy because I have those niche websites, and I'm totally fine with that, even though we're a listing based business. If we can find those type of buyers and they can buy a home in 24, 48 hours, then we'll do that all day long, and I'm excited every time a lead comes through that website.
Yeah, I would not turn that away. You're like, hello, Mr. Buyer, I'm going to make money on you in 24 hours. Please step forward. Thank you.
That's right. That is the lowest of low-hanging fruit, at least once you put in the upfront work. All right, so let's talk a little bit. We covered this before we went live, but I want to make sure that the viewers get a chance to to hear this part of the conversation. So we were talking earlier about how your ISA team is managed. They're handling these inbound leads. They're setting appointments for the agents, which, as me and Greg have talked about before, this is the holy grail. This is the holy grail. What every agent wants is somebody else making the phone calls and setting appointments for them. So how are you managing that process, and what does that look like in terms of how they're setting appointments? What are the quality of the appointments like? I think there's a lot of people that have questions about how they can potentially set up that system for themselves.
Yeah, so that was one of the real challenges that I had as I was building the business is, and this was prior to having the ISA department, was we were generating so many leads and we were just throwing money down the toilet because we just weren't properly handling the leads because the agents were so busy selling property that they weren't handling the inquiries fast enough. And one of my mottos is speed kills. And what does it kill? It kills the competition. When you get a lead, when you respond to that lead immediately, and that's like 1 minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, then you're greatly increasing the probabilities that you're going to get that business. So that helped us a lot. And what I've done in the meantime, because we are generating business for them, is I want a win-win situation for the company and for the agents. And we call that one goal, different role. So we have one goal for the company, and everybody has their role in that. And the ISAs is to generate appointments for the agents, and the agent is to prospect and become a better real estate agent. And prospecting is the foundation of this business. So if you're not prospecting as a real estate agent, you're just not going to last in this business. Maybe you will today because the market is so crazy, but a year from now, 2 years from now, when the market shifts, business is going to get a lot harder for those agents. So we teach our agents to be fishermen and not just feed them fish. So there are 5 jobs of a real estate agent, in my opinion. That's script practice and role play, lead generation, lead follow-up, negotiate contracts, and go on appointments. And so we follow that schedule. As I'm not going to say we're perfect at it. We're always working and getting better, and we're very consistent. So first thing in the morning, we're having a daily huddle. We're doing script practice and role play, and then the agents jump on the phones, and they're doing lead generation for 2 hours for new business, and then spend 1 hour on lead follow-up, which is where the gold is made. You know, they're working so hard for those 2 hours a month ago to generate those nurtures, to spend the time following up every single day to convert those into appointments. So yes, we are scheduling appointments for them, and we're also teaching them to become great prospectors and help them in their careers long term.
Yeah, it's one of the things that you hit it right on the head. This business is all about one, outbound prospecting to get the inbound calls, but then like a bunch of numbnuts, we never call them back. And the people are saying, hey, look, I want to buy or sell, and you're like, I'll call you later, or I'm too busy, prospecting for other business without following up with the business you already caught. And you obviously know this number. I guarantee you. 85% of the people that actually bought or sold a piece of property said they would use their agent again. Only 11% actually did because of the lack of follow-up that agent did with a past client or prospect. That's pathetic. I mean, we should all be fired. Yeah. We would get fired if we were in any other business for that bad a follow-up.
Well, that's because the businesses have actual systems to ensure the follow-up is taking place, which leads me to beautiful segue to mine.
I said don't cuss at me. Don't cuss at me during the show.
I know, systems. So, Andy, what is your system? How are you holding agents accountable to make sure that they're actually doing the follow-up that's necessary to convert the leads that you work so hard to generate?
Well, it's really the leads that they're working hard to generate, right? Because they're doing the prospecting.
Mm-hmm.
But what we do is we focus on 4 conversations, and this started from John Davis. He's the president of Keller Williams, and he implemented the 4 conversations at a brokerage level, and we've transitioned that over to like the real estate team level and the individual agent level. So what those 4 conversations are that we're focusing on every single week with our agents are appointments. So they have a set number, a goal for how many appointments they're going to go on in a month, and then we expect a 2-to-1 conversion ratio. So for every 2 appointments they go on, they take 1 listing, whether that's a buyer broker agreement or a listing agreement. So our expectation as a company is 40 appointments per month, 20 listings taken, and that covers the appointments, the listings taken, and then we focus on under contract. So how many homes are they putting under contract per month? What's their goal? And then GCI. I want to help my agents start to think like business owners, and too many agents just lose track of the money part of the business, and they just looking for the next deal and to work that angle. And if I can help them start with a GCI goal in mind, then I can help them work backwards and figure out exactly how many appointments they need to make that happen, what their conversion ratio is into listings taken, and then help them put homes under contract and earn the living that they want to, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah, what's your turnover rate though? Just out of pure curiosity, what's your turnover in your neighborhoods? And how big is your marketplace? Because a lot of people are hearing these numbers right now, and they're like, "Shit, I'm underachiever."
Well, just to clarify, Andy, you're talking about 40 appointments total per month for the team.
Yes.
Between 4 or 5 agents, 20 total listings taken by the team. So we're talking about each person taking, let's say, 4 listings a month with the goal to sell probably 3.5 of those listings per month, right?
Yeah, our goal is to have every agent close at least 3 properties, because we feel, at least with our price point, that they can make over $100,000 and have a good life, have no expenses. All the transactions are taken care of for them, so they really get to do what they enjoy doing, which is creating relationships with people, helping them find their dream home, and we help them with all the back end stuff that most agents aren't good at, and it holds them back from selling as many homes as they ultimately could in the right systems. We call it systems of success. So we plug them into our systems of success, and I have taken an agent that sold 5 homes in a year and a half and helped him sell 40 homes his first year, by plugging into our system.
That's awesome. That's really awesome. So again, what is? I'm purely curious for my own selfish reasons. What's your turnover up there? The turnover rate in the areas? Do you know offhand by any chance?
Are you talking about like one specific neighborhood, or just like Portland in general?
No, just kind of the areas you work. Because I know my turnovers are about 3 to 5 here. 5's a great if we have it.
Yeah, honestly, I'm not really sure what the turnover is. I probably should know that, so I'll put that on my to-do list.
No problem. I didn't want to throw you under the bus on that. You know your numbers so well. I'm just curious because with those numbers are
High
phenomenal.
turnover rate because we get a lot of listings.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do, my friend.
Yeah,
And that's good
awesome
stuff.
All right, so let's talk about the, we were talking about this before we went on the air, the 4 disciplines of execution and kind of how you're applying that. So Andy Mulholland was talking about that. I think it was, what was it, last week or something like that? So he's down there, was down there at the time he took the podcast, was getting certified actually in the 4DX system, which caught my eye. So how are you guys applying that across your team?
Yeah, I actually saw that podcast. It was really
nice.
good. I learned some good stuff. So thanks for putting that on.
He's a badass.
So what we do is we just really focus on the lead measures and focus on appointments. So a lot of the conversations that we're having around our office, I wouldn't say all of the conversations, but a lot of them just focus on appointments, because we feel if we can help them focus on the lead measure, which is appointments, and help them build their skill level and have a good conversion rate, that ultimately it's like the under contract and the GCI is just going to come. So we're really focusing on that lead measure, which is appointments, having those conversations every single week, and figuring out ways to help them hit their goals. And when they're off track, what we do is we have a set protocol in place saying, okay, so we're off track on our appointment goals. What do we need to do to ensure that you're going to be able to hit your goals by the end of the month? So that might be increasing lead gen. It might be knocking more doors around a listing that's taken. So it's just a matter of halfway through the month, on the 15th of the month, we have a protocol in place that if we're off goal, we help the agents get back on track by a set number of activities, and just really focus on those activities.
Yeah, and that's I love that, because you briefly mentioned the leading measures, but the difference between leading indicators and lag indicators I think is really important for people to understand. So if you track things by, like you mentioned, like the sales or closings, pendings, whatever the case is, it's hard to make adjustments, especially mid-month. If you're trying to keep agents on track, it's hard to make adjustments based on sales, because, I mean, you're talking about 30 to 45, 60 days behind any activities you can do to affect the outcome. So, and Greg, you could talk about this. Like, your dad came up with probably the best, the most comprehensive leading indicator tracking system that I've ever seen, which is that spreadsheet you showed me, which breaks down, how many calls did you make, doors knocked on, contacts, mets or appointments set, appointments actually went on that were completed, listings taken, buyers worked with, and the whole 9 yards. Like, you can, Greg, you can break down, exactly how much you're worth for every hour of prospecting thanks to that sheet.
Not just hour, Matt. I know how much. Well, it was meant for door knocking, so it could be door knocking or calling. How much each door or call is worth, how much every time I talk to you, how much that person is. I know how much each one of my minutes is worth. I know if I can add 1 hour or take away 1 hour, or add 1 day or take away 1 day, the dramatic difference of my income, all based upon my averages that we're running up at the top. It's incredible what this sheet can tell you. Unfortunately, it's so damn complicated. I don't give it away because it is a fucking nightmare. It's like it's a tedious.
It would take like an hour training video to walk an agent through how to use it themselves. So
and then they would click on the wrong thing, and it would all go to hell in a handbasket. But no,
and Jeff Cohn has something similar, but they don't let the agents do it themselves. The success manager handles that for them and puts the numbers in specifically for that reason.
Bad. Don't you touch that, agent. No.
All right. So I want to get in. We've got about 15 minutes to go, but there's a couple things, Andy, I wanted to dig into, because I think it's of interest to people that are either building teams or in the process of building their team and then trying to exit and spend, or just planning how they're going to exit the business, at least in terms of daily production. So the bridge that you crossed when you withdrew from production, and it sounds like you initially had someone in place and you followed the normal model of having a listing partner and then keeping your buyer's agents separated and having them continue to work with buyers, but you flipped that, and now all of your agents can take listings, and you've actually flipped your entire business and can stay listing heavy, even with a group of people that were buyer's agents, having them start to take listings, which is really interesting, and I think it's a difficult transition. So what were some of the challenges or obstacles you had to overcome throughout that whole process?
Well, late last year when I lost that team leader, I was faced with the decision: do I move back into the listing role and become the listing agent again, or do I just change the whole structure of the team and have all agents be real estate agents and list and work with buyers? And I wasn't willing to move back into that side of the business, so I made the decision to change the structure. And everybody was, all the agents were really excited about the opportunity to be able to list properties. And it took about 90 days to get most of them comfortable on the listing side of the business. And we're still a work in progress on with a couple of the agents. They're just their confidence level still isn't there. And we have a couple that embraced it and started taking listings. And the first month, we took a big step backwards when we did that, and I anticipated it. We took 1 listing the first month, we took 2 the second month, and then the third month, we jumped up to 8 listings.
Wow.
So it took, it took a little bit of time, and those are just seller listings. And it really was a focus on knowing the scripts, following the presentation, and just getting their confidence level to an area where it's like they could walk into somebody's house and know that we're the logical choice to help them sell their home.
Well, mindset, going into that kind of situation, mindset is absolutely imperative. If they go in there kind of shaking like a leaf in a strong windstorm, the seller's going to pick up on that and not see the confidence and strength that your team obviously possesses. And I'm sure that you guys, whoops, I got my front desk calling me. Sorry about that, guys. But with making that shift and letting them do listings, I actually was having a conversation this morning on the way into work with an agent who's stepping away from her team, which is very successful, because they won't let her take listings. Have you talked to other team leaders that are making the same decision you are, which is then helping retain quality agents that may or may not have left because they weren't able to spread their wings?
I really haven't. I don't know too many people that are making this shift from that listing agent, buyer agent role to agents that do both. For me, it was the only logical choice, and I haven't talked to too many people that are doing this, so I'm not really sure.
It's super rare, especially within KW, because the model is so much. Bring on the listing partner, then the listing partner, doesn't work out. You step back into the business, you find the next listing partner, you step out again. Like it's this repeated, and I see a lot of people going through that process over and over again of trying to withdraw from the business. They hire somebody, either they don't work out or they only work out for a couple of years, and then they end up having to step back in again.
Doing their own thing.
Yeah,
right.
Well, yeah, I'm curious about like the personality stuff, right? Maybe the disc profiles of your guys that you had on your team. So the buyer's agents that you have that are now free to list properties, were there some of them in there that had enough of that mid to high D that they were able to make that transition, or are you dealing with trying to teach high like IS people to get enough of the D to get them in and through the listing presentation so that people like them and get them to close the agreement and out the door?
Yeah, I think you're just going to find that some agents are just going to gravitate more towards listings and want to be a better listing agent, and then you have some that will take listings and just in the end not take as many and end up working with more buyers just because they're more comfortable with it, and it's maybe just a more in line with their skill set and their personality. So what I've found, the agents that are taking the most listings, they don't have a really high D, although they are probably closer to that midline where they can bump up their aggressiveness and directness and help lead the seller into knowing that we are the only logical choice based off of our history, our proof of success. We focus a lot on list to sales price, on average days on market, and we have the proof to back it up with our track record over even just the past 12 months and being one of the top teams in the Metro Portland market.
Yeah, well, you're going to become bigger. I mean, we run our team the same way you do with yours. Any agent that joins our team can list and or you work with buyers, but we co-brand with them. So it's the McDaniel Callahan team and then blank agent. We co-list it with them. So we keep our brand up there. We give them recognition. We found it to be very, very effective. And when agents that I'm bringing on to the team ask me that question, I say, sure, we just co-list it with you. That's all. And they're like, oh, okay, not a problem. So I think a lot of teams, if they want to keep the top quality, they're going to have to start adopting something like this because people aren't stupid, and they see other teams start doing it like you guys. But you guys are progressive and ahead of the pack.
Well, I think it's not just a matter of allowing an agent to list and work with buyers. It's also having, especially with very talented agents, you want to have a vision big enough where they can continually grow in your company with you, so they never have a reason to go anywhere. So in our business, you have an opportunity to come in as an agent and you kill it as an agent and earn the right to move into a team leader position. We're expanding throughout the Metro Portland market right now, as well as the nation. So that those talented agents will have earn the right to lead a team and build a team of their own. And
awesome.
The team leaders who knock it out of the park and earn the right can move on to lead a region.
Wow.
And I'm talking to a couple people that have that skill set and have the drive, and those can all fit within our business model. And the progression gets people really excited, and being a part of a mission and a vision that is much bigger than your typical just real estate team where they have an option to be a listing agent and or a buyer's agent. There's a lot of opportunity in this business that we're growing right now.
I've just actually given my final notice, and I will be moving up to your neck of the woods. Thank you very much. Sorry, Dad, I'm leaving the team. I found a better option.
That's right.
I'll put Seth in touch with you.
Seth Diggity.
All right. Well, so hopefully there's some agents listening here in Portland, and I know that you'll spread the interview out to them. So how do people get in contact with you? Number one, if they're interested in joining your team and possibly talking about that option, or if they just want to send referrals to you in that area.
My email is the best way to reach me. It's andy@5doors.com. So that's 5 spelled out. Way to reach me. But shoot me a text, call me. One thing that I'm just really passionate about is helping agents accomplish their goals. I'm also a MAPS mastery coach with Keller Williams. So even if they're not interested in joining a team, I'm happy to help. Give anybody ideas and tips on how to better their business, whether it's they want to move out of production and do something along the lines of what I've done, or just generate more leads. But my phone number is 503-314-8013, and happy to help anytime.
Cool. We'll call it the Andy Green Challenge.
Yes.
Boom.
Another number. And he's like, no.
Yeah, it's like, well, it's a limited basis, yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So Greg, refresh everyone's memory on how they can get in touch with you for the McDaniel Challenge.
McDaniel Challenge, guys, it is a golden opportunity to spend some blessed moments with me, one-on-one, where you and I are going to go over everything that has been hampering, hindering you, stopping you, blocking you, or just overall just getting in your way from being successful beyond your wildest dreams. Yes, I'm tooting my own horn, and I like it. But it is honestly just a time for us to get together. We'll talk about an hour and a half to 2 hours, give or take, and we're going to work on what's stopping you or blocking you. Maybe it's a mindset, maybe it's a marketing thing, maybe it's whatever. We'll work through it, and we'll put together a customized marketing plan for you. So by the end of it, you'll actually want to go out and do the marketing and prospecting and everything else, because we're going to make it fun. Call me on my private cell phone, guys. People think I'm nuts for doing it, but I love getting calls or texts from you or Facebook messages or whatever. It's 925-915-1978. Again, 925-915-1978, or go to McDanielChallenge.com. And you can learn more about it there. Also, follow me on Facebook, you guys. I'm almost out of friends. I'm almost at 5,000 at the time of this recording. So just follow me on there, and you'll see my Facebook Lives, where you'll get additional content that won't be shown here on the show. So if you want to get to know me on a more intimate, personal level, as well as business advice and tips and just fun stuff, hit me up. I'll show you how to use this crazy thing called Facebook Live, and how you can reach out to thousands and thousands of people for 100% free, and show people some really cool things about your area. So you can also follow Matt, I believe. He's done his Facebook Lives every other day or every day?
Usually the same days we do the podcast, Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Okay, and I do them 5 days a week.
Yes. Well, you're on all the time. Yeah.
Yes. Yes, I am.
So if anybody wants to follow me, so it's at Pursuing Results. You can find me on Facebook, Snapchat, or Instagram there. And then if you are interested in running your own interview podcast to build your referral network, if you're in real estate and you want to meet other people that are in your local community that can possibly send you business, a local interview show is a great way to do that. So if you want to check that out, you can get in contact with me. Just shoot me an email, matt@pursuingresults.com, and we can talk more about that too. So.
1,000%. You guys are beautiful, wonderful human beings. This has been a phenomenal show, Andy. Thank you for sharing everything that you have to share. You are a wealth of knowledge. You are a progressive team, which I think a lot of people in KW and other brokerages are going to be following you because you are, you're blazing a trail, brother. So keep it up.
I really appreciate you guys having me on. It's been a blast and definitely interesting.
We're not normal.
No,
not one bit. It's okay.
I agree with that.
I have a doctor's note that says I can be this way. So whatever.
Doctor's note.
All right. Doctor's note.
All right.
Got it.
Well, we've got some great guests coming up next week, great content, and some big announcements coming up on the horizon. So until then, everybody have a great weekend, and we will see you on Monday at 3 p.m. Pacific for the next episode.
Love you guys. Have a blessed and awesome weekend.